Coming up, a review of the book Targeted Beirut, the 1983 Marine Barracks Bombing and the Untold Origin Story of the War on Terror, written by Jack Carr and James M. Scott. Namaste friends, my name is Shil Subramanian Paimal and you are listening to the Histology podcast. Before I proceed, a full disclosure. This book was bought with my own money and not been provided to me by the authors or publisher. Little bit about the authors. Jack Carr is a #1 New York Times best-selling author and former Navy SEAL sniper. He lives with his wife and 3 children in Park City, Utah. He is the author of The Terminal List, True Believer, Savage Son, The Devil's Hand, In the Blood, Only the Dead, and Red Sky Morning. His debut novel, The Terminal List, was adapted into the #1 Amazon Prime Video series starring Chris Pratt. He is also the host of top-rated podcast Danger Close. A Pulitzer Prize finalist and former Nieman Fellow at Harvard, James M. Scott is the author of Target Tokyo, Black Snow, Rampage, The War Below, and The Attack on the Liberty. In addition, Scott is a sought-after public speaker who leads battlefield tours and lectures at the institutions around the world. He lives with his wife and 2 children in Charleston, South Carolina, where he is the scholar in residence at the Citadel. Let me read a brief description of the book. Quote, the first in a new in-depth nonfiction series examining the devastating terrorist attacks that changed the course of history, from #1 New York Times bestselling author Jack Carr and Pulitzer Prize finalist James M. Scott, beginning with the 1983 Marine Barracks Bombing in Beirut. 1983, the United States Marine Corps experienced its greatest single-day loss of life since the Battle of Iwo Jima in World War II, when a truck packed with explosives crashes into their headquarters and barracks in Beirut, Lebanon. This horrifying terrorist attack, which killed 241 servicemen, continues to influence US foreign policy and haunts the Marine Corps to this day. Now, the full story is revealed as never before by Jack Carr and historian and Pulitzer Prize finalist James M. Scott. Based on comprehensive interviews with survivors, extensive military records, as well as personal letters, diaries and photographs, this is the authoritative account of the deadly attack. Unquote. It was a mere coincidence that I finished reading this brilliant book on the 22nd of October, that is just a day before the 41st anniversary of the Beirut bombing of 1983, which was one of the largest non-nuclear explosions ever recorded. This meticulously researched book provides a comprehensive examination of not only the events leading up to the tragic bombing, but also the broader geopolitical landscape of the Middle East during that turbulent era. Some of the things I personally found interesting in this book. First, Hezbollah's signature attack became the suicide car bomb, best characterized by the historian David Christ as the poor man's smart bomb. Second, during the rescue operation, the emotionally and physically exhausted Marines who had spent hours pulling friends from the ruins resented the media's presence. At one point, Marines confronted a photographer as he snapped a photo of a body being hauled from the wreckage. Unfortunately, over the years, not much has changed with regards to this. The media guys are still voyeurs. Third, Colonel Garrity wrote a book in 2009 titled Peacekeepers at War, in which he laid out the tremendous challenges he faced in Beirut and examined the pressure from Washington. America's mission, he concluded, was a noble undertaking that saved many lives before it was sadly undermined by terrorists intent to drive the multinational force from Lebanon. Civilized rules of behavior and moral codes, he wrote, are anathema to Islamic extremists. One of the book's strength lies in its analysis of the intelligence failures that allowed the bombing to occur. Carr and Scott scrutinized the decisions made by military and government leaders, highlighting a systematic failure to recognize the threat posed by the Hezbollah and other terrorist groups. This examination prompts readers to consider the lessons learned or not learned in the wake of this devastating event. Carr and Scott contextualized the bombing within the larger narrative of US involvement in the Middle East, illustrating how the bombing not only shaped American military strategy but also set the stage for future conflicts. They draw connections between the 1983 bombing and the subsequent events, including the rise of Al-Qaeda and the broader implications for US counter-terrorism efforts. Conclusion. Targeted Beirut is an essential read for anyone interested in understanding the roots of war on terror and the intricate dynamics of Middle Eastern politics. Carr and Scott provide a thorough, insightful analysis that not only pays homage to the lives lost but also challenges readers to consider the ongoing consequences of US actions in the region. The book serves as a poignant reminder of the complexities of international relations and the importance of learning from history. Through their exhaustive research and compelling narrative, Carr and Scott contribute significantly to the discourse on terrorism and American military engagement, making Targeted Beirut a notable addition to contemporary historical literature. I give this book 4.5 out of 5. Apart from the hardcore and paperback formats, the book is also available in Kindle format. At the time of recording this book review, it is not available on Audible. I have given the respective buy links in the show notes. Please check them out for the latest prices. Before I finish with this book review, I would like to mention a few quotes and a poem related to Lebanon. Beirut is not hell, but you can see it from here. Description common amongst US service members in Lebanon. Lebanon is a harsh teacher. William B. Corden, Middle East expert. Lance Corporal Adam Morales said it very well. Quote, "There is no hope for this country. They have been fighting for centuries. You can't change that." Unquote. One unnamed Marine left behind a poem, 27 words, that would serve as the mission's epitaph. "They sent us to Beirut to be targets who could not shoot. Friends will die into an early grave. Was there any reason for what they gave?" Thank you for spending a valuable time listening to this book review. Really grateful. Please don't forget to subscribe to the Histology podcast on your favorite podcasting app, and also feel free to leave a review. Also, please check history.com for all previous episodes. Thanks, and looking forward to hearing from you. Take care and bye.